He was criticized severely. See, because right now, everybody loves Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. We celebrate the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody loved Martin Luther King Jr., but when Martin Luther King Jr. was alive, the power structure hated him. And you got to understand that. You have to stand up. And even though the whole world is against you, the mood of the nation is against you, you have to stand up and tell the truth. Because Allah bless you with Quran and Sunnah. And the irony of all ironies is that the very ones that they lambast, the very ones that they say bad things about, the Muslims, are the very ones that will save this nation. Yeah, serious. Why? Not because of you, man. Not because you black. Not because you brown or yellow. Ain't because of that. Ain't because what nation you come from. It's because of Al-Islam, because of Al-Quran, because of Sunnah, because of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the truth. That's the thing that will give you strength and give strength to this nation. Amen. So stand up. So brothers and sisters, how do we change the world? It begins today. I'm going to ask you, Imam Qasim Khan has taken a giant step. How long will it last? What will be the future of Islam in America? Answer, what do you want it to be? And what price are you willing to pay? All over the world, people pay prices. You know prices that people have paid? You ever hear of the name Medgar Evers? My brothers and sisters have to learn the history of America, especially African American history. Because you will find out that Muslims are following the same path as the African Americans did. And by the way, let me tell you this. There are a lot of us have a lot of criticism about the Nation of Islam. I have my own criticism. We can talk about their aqidah, but the one thing that you cannot talk about with the Nation of Islam is the work that they did. They had work, they outworked everybody. I was in the Nation of Islam from 1969 to 1975, and I remember I used to go outside every day. I quit my job to sell newspapers, to sell a newspaper called Muhammad Speaks, because I believed that I was dedicated, I was committed. I quit my job to sell a 25-cent newspaper. And I would walk through the streets of Brooklyn. I didn't have no car. I would walk and I would go up and down buildings and knock on doors until I got calluses on my fingers, knocking on doors, selling a 25-cent newspaper, and that's what I did for a living for years. And I'll never forget, one day I was walking on Eastern Parkway, and there was a building that I was about to go in, and when I looked at the building, there were two young men in the hallway. And I looked at them and perceived that they were going to try to rob me. And let me tell you something. I had all this change in my pocket, because 25 cents, you're going to have a lot of change. And I'm walking jingling, 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 jingling. So I made a decision. Either I'm going to walk in or I'm going to keep on going. I decided I'm going to walk in. True story. When I walk in, one guy on the right, one on the left. The one on the right, he looked really mean. He had a steel, cold face. And the one on the left had a little bit nicer face. So I took out a paper called Muhammad Speaks newspaper. And the one with the mean face, I took the paper and I put it under his arm. Boom! And the other one, I put it on his arm. Boom! And I said, now you give me 25 cents. Wallahi, the man went in his pocket and gave me 25 cents. And then he took out a gun and said, you just can't rob a Muslim, put his gun back in his pocket, and he left. Not because I had aqidah, we didn't have aqidah. We didn't have the right aqidah, but we had faith in what we had, and we were bold, and we weren't afraid of nobody. Because we were afraid of nobody, and we worked hard, Allah blessed us. Then Allah blessed us in 1975, all of those Imams, Imam Qasim and myself, Imam Qasim Khan, and others, Allah blessed us to come into Islam. you know what, brothers and sisters? You got to work for it. You can't get it unless you work. And our problem is that we lazy. We lazy. We don't want to work. And this is why the prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, he said, فَيَرْجِعُ الْإِثْنَانِ فَيَبْقَ الْوَاحِدُ. Two things go back and one stay. Your family go back. Your money go back when you die. And the only thing remains is your work. What kind of work are you going to do? What work will you give for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What did you do? What did you do for the people of Houston, Texas? What did you do? What did you do for the people of the United States of America? You didn't be here just to enjoy life here for you, put money in your pocket, get a good job, get a nice house, drive a nice car. It's not for that only. It's to give back to something of society. And what is the signature of a Muslim? The signature of a Muslim is guidance. You guide the people to right. And in the end, you help yourself. Because the Prophet said, إِنْ أَخَذُوا عَلَى يَدَيْهِ أَنْجَاهُ فَنَجَّاهُ أَنفُسَهُمْ. If you hold their hand from doing the evil, you save them as well as saving yourself. وَإِنْ تَرَكُوهُ أَحْلَكُوهُ وَأَحْلَكُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. And if you let them go, you destroy them and you destroy yourself. Imam Qasim has a very humble beginning to put programs together. Imam Qasim Khan is a hard-working brother. He is, man, really non-stop. How do I know? He texts me 100 times a day. Seriously. And you know, he never stops. And all hours of the night. So wait a minute, when do you sleep? Son, when do you sleep? He's up texting me, man. So I am hopeful of the work that he's doing tonight. I want to take 10 minutes and try to give him seed money for some projects that he has.